So I think RGM and revenue growth is one of the critical pillars for most organizations, right? And one of the key focus areas, for the current company and my previous companies was to increase the throughput in the stores, right? Which is at the point of sale, where the consumer is coming and picking up the product. How can you increase your throughput, right? So the element of activation, availability, reduction in stockouts, uh, understanding the store type, which means that analytics plays a very important role in building store cohorts, right? So you can't be having the same assortment across all stores, right? There could be stores which are at transit locations. There could be stores which are right in the middle of a mall. There could be stores next to a residential area. And these stores have very different consumer archetypes, right? The consumer spend differently, consumer frequency of buying is different, the kind of products they're looking for is different. So I think the assortment planning is an extremely important part where data analytics plays an important role, and where a lot of modeling, machine learning modeling goes into putting and understanding the store cohorts, right? And then putting the market mix, an assortment mix to the field and activating the right facings, looking at the velocity of the movement of a product. So there's all of this is actually data driven, right? So I think that is one big area, that getting the right activation availability and the right assortment mix is extremely important, and that's been one focus area for most organizations, be it alcohol, retail, or FMCG. Okay. I think the second part is a lot of our investments go behind either trade spends, right, or consumer offers, wherever permissible, right? Now the impact of those promotions is very, very minimally assessed in most organizations. So you're putting a lot of monies, but you're not understanding the ROI. So how do you optimize your spend? So there's a lot of focus and a lot of analytics that is currently being done, where you say what price, what offer on a particular product price works, what is the perceived value on the product as a freebie works, right? And even things like looking at the basket data. And in some industries, it's possible, right, to understand what are consumers purchasing together, what are the adjacencies, and then you plan your, the multi-pack, drives, or the adjacency drives, or the freebie drives, completely data driven, right? So I think that's the second part, that understanding the ROIs of investments, be it your trade spends or be it consumer offers. And in trade spend also there's analytics, because you need to understand which outlets are sensitive to trade spend versus outlets which are not sensitive to trade spends, right? So I think that's the second lever where there's a lot of focus happening. And I think the third lever is getting the pricing strategies right. And I know in this regulated industry, too much is not possible, but still there are headrooms, and there are some states where there are possibilities of government policy approved price increases, where you want to understand the price sensitivities. And that's where data analytics plays an extremely important role. So I think these are three big areas where I feel revenue growth plays a very important role.